First Christmas in the USA since 2018 after living abroad in South Korea for several years. 2 years ago, I was traveling around Asia and I had the warmest Christmas in Singapore. Literally and figuratively, the warmest Christmas as I was sweating through the tropics. Many of you were with me on social media for that. On Christmas 2 years ago, a lovely family welcomed me into their home. Strangers who I had met just days before in Malaysia, in a toilet, in a bathroom. I'm going to tell you all about that lovely, lovely Christmas in Singapore. But before I do, I want to tell you what I want for my first Christmas in the USA in several years. I want the USA to get up, eat ona, and give a shit about each other more. Did you eat? There are people around you right where you are in the United States of America who did not. The USA has so much food. So much food. Food that people in other countries can only dream about. No one in the United States of America should be hungry. There are a lot of people this Christmas who are hungry. I am one of those people. If you have a paycheck and a home, I want you to share your food with someone who is hungry. Could be that hungry homeless person or that homeless family. Did you ignore them? Do you judge them? Do you think that they're lazy or that they don't want to work hard? You can share with the barista who makes your coffee every day. She may lose her job tomorrow. It doesn't pay the bills. And she works for a corporation, doesn't give a shit about her, or if she's hungry. And if you don't want to give to that hungry homeless person, or that hungry homeless family, or that barista who may lose her job that doesn't pay the bills, you can share it with me. After visiting some of the world's richest countries and some of the world's poorest countries, I never felt hunger, but I do in the USA. I've been hungry all year. When I returned to the USA this year from South Korea, I missed Asian food, and I still do. So I have been working with Asian immigrants in food service for minimum wage. Nothing makes me happier than sharing amazing Asian food with you, USA. It doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't pay enough for me to eat Asian food or any food. It pays enough to give me an adventure of living on the streets of the United States of America in a tent. I don't even have a tent because it's too expensive. Some of these Asian-owned restaurants have been great, and some have not. If you think that minimum wage in the USA is enough to survive, you are profoundly lost. If you think that minimum wage is enough to survive, you should try it like I've been doing all year. I've been working with clients around the planet, but I'm not paid in US dollars, so it doesn't go very far. If you do not care that there are people around you right where you are in the United States of America, a country so rich, a country with so much food, I greatly encourage you to travel, and you will see that there are people with far, far less than you have who give and take care of each other far, far more. After visiting some of the world's poorest countries, I was never hungry. I was welcomed, I was fed. When I first moved from the US abroad to South Korea, I had no job, I had no apartment, I didn't know anyone, didn't know how to use the subway. The subways in Seoul are really complex compared to USA public transportation. Within just 1 month, I had a job, an apartment, and a community of new Korean friends who I just met. 2 months later, I was almost homeless. My employer didn't pay me for working. I didn't get paid for working. So I couldn't pay the rent for my apartment. I had to leave that job. I was without a job and I was without an apartment, again, in a foreign country. I never ended up homeless because people came forward and welcomed me into their homes and fed me, but I never forgot how it felt to almost be homeless. I spent the next several years giving my time and money, feeding the hungry and homeless people who live on the streets in Seoul by Seoul Station. I worked on farms in villages of some of the poorest countries on the planet, feeding the hungry and the homeless. Now I've become that hungry person, headed for the streets of the USA. Do I like adventures too much? I spent time in 50 cities across several countries in Asia. I asked people what they think of US American people. Most people told me that USA people seem generous and giving. Since I've been back in the USA, so many people have asked me about the people of Asia. And I tell you, they are the most generous, giving people I've ever met, always sharing food. And they showed me how people with far less than the United States has take care of each other in community and in villages and give so much more. So that's what I want for Christmas, USA. Share your food with someone hungry. Merry Christmas from the United States of America.